York, and California.
My secret to beating stiff chicks? Secret dry spray. Just spray and stay fresh all day.
My turn.
Secret actually fights odor and it's aluminum free. Hours later, still fresh. Secret works.
Where are we?
We're with you in Sin City, Katie, for our American Idol exclusive. And what happens in Vegas, well,
I can officially say I don't remember.
oh, it's happened to the best of us in Vegas, Lionel. Yes, it has. Okay, before we go, today Hollywood lost a legend, Raquel Welch, at age 82.
We leave you now with our time with the incomparable Ms. Welch. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
I think that there's a tendency to try to demean you or trivialize you if you have the image or the aura about you of being a glamour girl, sex symbol.
'Cause I'm a woman.
Raquel passed away after a brief.
Happening now.
A Comfort ISD school board member is accused of trying to run over an upset parent. We'll tell you about the tensions between the district and the community.
Very spring-like today, but it's back to reality tomorrow. We'll talk about tonight's cold front in just a bit.
Major travel changes coming to San Antonio International. The city planning a big expansion of the airport, and we have the plans. The news at 5 starts right now. First at 5, tensions appear to be boiling over for some in the city of Comfort.
Accusations of hostility between a Comfort ISD school board member and a parent on Monday, leading to a police investigation.
Camila Juarez tells us why some parents are furious that the school board voted to keep 2 top leaders they say should be gone.
Some Comfort ISD parents, like Amanda Hallmark, are frustrated with the current school board.
They are failing our schools. They are failing our children.
A petition with over 900 signatures calls for Assistant Superintendent Dr. Jerry Adams and Director of Curriculum Angela Westerfield to not have their contracts extended. Superintendent Dr. Tanya Monroe, who did not want to show her face on camera, says the efforts to remove administrators have gone too far.
We have been threatened, bullied, harassed, negative social media.
Part of the petition calls for the assistant superintendent position to be removed altogether.
There's 1,106 kids in our district. We don't need an assistant superintendent. That is ridiculous.
Parents claim Comfort Elementary School's accountability rating dropped under Westerfield's leadership. The TEA confirms the elementary school's rating dropped from an 88 in 2018 to a 57 now. Now parents are upset Westerfield is set to lead the entire district's curriculum.
No, it would not be legal to non-renew based on public opinion.
At Monday's school board meeting, board members voted 5-1 to extend all district administrative contracts. Upset parents confronted board members after the meeting. The Kendall County Sheriff's Office did confirm that there was an incident outside the school board meeting, but we know that there was no injuries, no arrests, and it's still under investigation. We reached out to Dr. Adams as well as Westerfield, but did not get a response in time. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Now, as part of that story, there were also accusations that someone may have been attempted to be run over or hit by a car in Comfort. KSAT was unable to confirm those accusations. Meanwhile, let's take a live look outside 35 and Loop 1604. The usual slowdowns out there, but what we've also noticed is the camera getting jostled by the winds a little bit.
Yes, it's a warm day, Adam, and getting to be a windy day.
Yeah, a little breezy out there and especially warm. Check out the high temperature at the airport, 81 degrees today. That was 5 degrees shy of the record, which was set back in 2019. And what especially stands out is the record low of 9 set back in 2021. We woke up to nearly 4 inches of snow on this day just 2 years ago. Now, the highs were very spring-like across our area. 90 in Uvalde, 93 Carrizo Springs, 95 the high temperature in Del Rio. That's a new record by 2 degrees. Eagle Pass now at 91, Floresville at 82 degrees, Bulverde currently at 78. And as we go through the evening hours, temperatures will stay on the warm side. I mean, 8 o'clock, 70, 10 o'clock, we're at 68. And then the cold front hits at midnight and the winds are going to pick up even more, and it changes everything for tomorrow and even Friday and Saturday. We'll talk about how cold it's going to get and how windy it's going to get in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. Huge flames, a burning building, and no indication of what caused it. This was the scene around 1 this morning along Baltimore Avenue near I-35, just north of downtown. Fire crews arrived to find that building, which was partially boarded up, covered in flames. Those flames quickly spread to nearby vehicles. Crews were able to put them out before they spread to neighboring buildings, though.
The dangerous structure here with the holes in the floor hampered our ability to get in and make an offensive attack. That's why we had to go defensive on it.
The fire department tells us they believe the fire started in the bottom floor of the building. They're investigating to find the cause. This whole thing's going to be demolished, though. No one was hurt.
Air Force Major Andre McDonald back in court today, learning he will now spend 25 years in prison. His time behind bars expanded a week after his conviction on manslaughter. It's part of a plea deal for the charge of tampering with evidence stemming from his efforts to hide the circumstances of his wife Andrine's death when she was reported missing back in 2019. So now, in addition to the maximum 20-year sentence for manslaughter, he must serve an additional 5 years for the tampering conviction. Today's hearing brings to an end the case, but Andre McDonald's lawyers say that they will appeal his conviction.
A woman in the hospital may face charges when she gets out, according to SAPD. She was involved in a shootout about 3 this morning on West Cevallos. A man told officers that woman kicked his apartment door in. They each fired shots at one another. He was hit in the arm. She was hit in the stomach. Both of them were taken to the hospital. The woman will likely face a charge of aggravated assault.
We are learning more about the 3 students killed at Michigan State University on Monday night. Friends and family sharing their memories of the 3 victims. Sophomore Brian Fraser, described as a leader and a great friend. Junior Ariel Anderson, remembered for her gentle laugh. And junior Alexandria Werner, reflected on as a role model. Monday night's shooting has left students on edge and anxious. For some of them, though, this isn't even their first experience with a gunman on campus. Classmate Ava Ferguson explains the shooting brought back memories of her first school shooting experience at Oxford High School back in 2021 when a gunman killed 4 people and injured 7 others.
I didn't think it was real, honestly. It was like traumatizing all over again. I'm still a little shaken up by it. It was just horrifying.
A motive for Monday's shooting still unknown. Campus classes and activities are on hold until this coming Monday.
Life in prison. It's what lies ahead for the 19-year-old man behind the supermarket murders in Buffalo, New York last year.
But before we get to that sentence, rage and tears filling up the county courtroom today as ABC's Jacqueline Lee says on Peyton Gendron's apology. Shortly after that apology, it was answered by raw emotion and a near attack.
19-year-old Peyton Gendron will now officially spend the rest of his life behind bars. The judge handing down the sentence today after Gendron admitted to killing 10 innocent people at a Tops supermarket in East Buffalo last May, inspired by his hatred of Black Americans and his belief in white supremacy.
There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. White supremacy has been an insidious cancer on our society and nation since its inception.
As the victims' families were addressing the defendant during their impact statements, chaos broke out in the courtroom.
I will hurt you so bad. You have made me sick. You got my family crying. I miss my sister every day.
As a bystander lunged at the convicted mass murderer, followed by shouts and sobs as deputies restrained him, Gendron was quickly removed from the court for his own safety. Victims addressed Gendron's bigotry, noting how during his murderous rampage, he apologized to a white person for shooting them before unloading his weapon on Black victims, all while streaming it live.
I don't wish the death penalty on you. I wish they keep you alive. So you have to suffer with the thought of what you did for the rest of your life.
Gendron expressed remorse for his deadly attack.
I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it.
I anticipate that the reason why he said what he said today was to save his life in federal court.
Gendron had pleaded guilty to 15 charges, including murder and domestic terror motivated by hate. The first time that crime has been charged in New York. Gendron is still facing more than 24 federal hate crime charges. He's due in federal court Thursday. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Buffalo.
Another big story we've been tracking, the fallout from the Ohio train derailment. Leaders awaiting a town hall meeting tonight where people will be able to voice those concerns. Almost 2 weeks after 50 train cars derailed and contaminants spilled into waterways, people are now reporting illnesses and thousands of fish have died. Some of the issues reported involve chemicals strong enough to bother the throat and eyes. And while the cleanup is still underway, people are worried about the long-term risks.
My grandbabies, that's why I bought this property, so they could play in the creek and have a good time, but I ain't putting them in it this year. I don't know if I'll ever put them back in it.
A week has passed since the evacuation order was lifted. Families are being encouraged to stick to bottled water for now.
Last month's thousands of plane cancellations due to a Federal Aviation Administration system outage. Now center stage in Washington, the FAA taking part in a Senate hearing to address safety risks of what's being called industry complacency. Mike Valerio with what the agency says it's doing now to battle against mounting criticism.
The acting head of the Federal Aviation Administration ordering a sweeping review of the agency following near collisions,
Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance.
close calls,
It was very close, and we believe less than 100 feet.
and a crippling computer outage that temporarily grounded flights nationwide last month.
We're missing the first week for a funeral.
Appearing before the Senate Commerce Committee Wednesday, acting FAA Administrator Billy Nolan says air travel has never been safer, but acknowledged the problems plaguing the aviation industry.
And I say to the American public that we are safe. The answer is that we are. If the question is, can we be better? The answer is absolutely.
Nolan said accelerated efforts to upgrade the NOTAM safety messaging system that failed in January will mostly be completed by mid-2025, but said that vulnerabilities remain in that system, which is responsible for providing pilots with critical pre-flight safety information.
Could I sit here today and tell you there will never be another issue on the NOTAM system? No, sir, I cannot.
Recent near collisions that have also raised concerns, including one between a FedEx cargo plane and a Southwest jet in Austin last week, are currently under investigation, but Nolan says FAA safety measures prevented potential disasters.
When we think about the controls, how we train both our controllers and our pilots, the system works as it's designed.
Yet Nolan says sustaining and implementing these systems means a lot of work ahead.
Recent events remind us that we cannot and must not become complacent and must continually invest in our aviation system.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
And back here at home, in a little more than 5 years, travelers in and out of the Alamo City could be flying out of a new third terminal at the San Antonio International Airport. Representatives of two architecture firms presented conceptual design renderings during a Wednesday council meeting. The new terminal, part of an overall $2.5 billion strategic plan that the city council approved in November of 2021. The chairman of the committee that provided input to the airport plan says the third terminal, which can handle up to 17 gates, needed to keep up with customer growth.
And to also cater to these airlines who are always looking to put more direct flights in different places. It's not that we will build it and they will come, but we need to build it so they can come.
The terminal's still in the planning stages. The city hopes to open it by 2028.
Still ahead at 5, they were spotted in U.S. airspace and shot down soon afterward. Now, one of those spy balloons may not have been doing that spying. What intelligence officials are now trying to figure out.
Plus, how a new VA clinic on the southeast side giving one San Antonio councilwoman hope when it comes to helping local veterans.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the KSAT newsroom, and here's what we're working on for the news at 6.
I was numb because I just kept seeing it go lower and lower and lower, and eventually it was a creek.
Where is all the water at Medina Lake? Take a look at this. A lake house owner talks to us about the video that he posted on social media that shows how much the lake has dried up over the past year. And a local woman proving you're never too old to rodeo. The story of a barrel racer who is defying the hands of time. Why today in particular marks a new milestone in her career. That and more coming your way today on the News at 6.
Thank you, Myra. A brand new VA clinic on the city's southeast side offering veterans a better chance to see a doctor when they need to. The Southeast VA outpatient clinic, now located on East South Cross Boulevard and Pecan Valley Drive. A ribbon cutting ceremony was held this morning to celebrate the opening of the clinic.
Thanks to a partnership between Valor Healthcare Incorporation and South Texas Veterans Healthcare System, that clinic will get people from all over San Antonio the chance to be seen by a doctor.
People do hesitate on making their appointments if they know it's going to take too long or if there's going to be a headache getting over there. So now they're here, the community, there's kind of no reason not to come and get help.
The clinic will be able to offer services such as annual health exams, immunizations, mental health help, telehealth services, and a lot more.
We are learning more information about that Chinese spy balloon. Intelligence officials now looking into the possibility that the balloon may actually have drifted over the U.S. by accident after all. That balloon lifted off from China last month. It was expected to head toward Guam, but instead it drifted northward. Beijing insists the balloon was a civilian craft and was diverted by strong winds. Fighter jets shot the balloon down over the coast of South Carolina back on February 4th.
Take a live look outside right now as we get ready for a change in our weather.
Big change.
Winds of change already out there, Adam Caskey.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's breezy, but the wind is breezy, not out of the north yet, and that's going to be the cold direction that we feel first thing in the morning. And right now, it's very spring-like outside. I showed you those temperatures. We're in the 90s south and west of town, especially closer to the Rio Grande, and 80s locally. But it's not going to last very long. Cool and windy tomorrow. Light freeze by Friday morning, and I think even Saturday morning. Jacket weather basically tomorrow all the way through Saturday. Take a look at temperatures across the state right now. 80 degrees in San Antonio, Del Rio 94 now, but you go to Midland, it's 64, El Paso 46, and even Amarillo at 32, right at the freezing point. That's where we have our cold front that's headed eastward, and that's going to be impacting us. Later tonight, it should hit us around midnight. That's when the changes will start to take place. Pleasanton now 86, Cotulla 95 degrees in mid-February. Gonzales at 80. And temperatures for the most part, lower 80s to even some upper 70s in the hill country. Bulverde, New Braunfels 78. Comfort at 80 degrees. Tomorrow morning behind the front, it's not going to be frigid. It's just going to be noticeably cooler. About 48 degrees in San Antonio. You get to 42 Fair Oaks Ranch, Bernie, Comfort 40 degrees, Bandera, Pipe Creek about 44, and Seguin 48. And then by the midday hours, we'll only make it to 56 at noon. Then a high temperature of 59 degrees. We'll have a mixture of sun and clouds, but even with that sunshine, we're not going to get much warming from it. About 63 in Castroville, Bernie, Timberwood Park, Bulverde, 55 for a high temperature. And Friday's going to be even a few degrees cooler. I'm thinking mid-50s, even downtown San Antonio, so we cool off even more into Friday. By Saturday, we're only near 60 for a high, so long sleeves, sweater, or jacket weather basically tomorrow all the way through Saturday before temperatures rebound again Sunday on through next week. By next Tuesday, it's back to 82, so if you like this kind of weather, just wait until the early part of next week, and it's going to return. Here's the big picture. Notice this big swirl here over Colorado. That's the upper level component of this system, and there's a lot of snow on the cold side of it. New Mexico, especially in the higher elevations. Colorado, this is great for the ski resorts, and now spreading into Kansas. The moisture with this is likely to really not impact us, unfortunately. We could have a brief shower around midnight. That's about it. I give it a 10% chance. That's it. One noticeable change will be the wind. So this evening, we'll have winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, but after midnight, look at these wind gusts. They pick up to 30 and 35 miles per hour. 7 a.m. tomorrow, we could have some wind gusts around 40 to 45 miles per hour. Helotes gusting to about 45, Bandera gusting to 44 miles per hour. That's first thing in the morning, so it will be cooler, and that wind's going to cut through you just a little bit, and it's going to be gusty all day tomorrow. And one factor here is the fire danger tomorrow on Thursday because of the very dry air moving in, relative humidities of 20% or less. So you get west of San Antonio and especially along the Rio Grande. That's where we have the very high fire risk because of the gusty winds and the dry air. It doesn't mean the weather is going to cause fires, but if there is a fire, it will spread rapidly in those conditions. Check out Friday morning at 32, Saturday morning 32 degrees, feeling the chill again. And then next week we warm back up a little bit. As for rain chances, we're holding on to a bit of hope for next Tuesday night with the shift in our weather pattern. We'll keep you updated on that.
Thank you, Adam. We'll be watching.
All right, tonight is a chance for the Spurs to end the first leg of the rodeo road trip on a high note.
And when you look at the teams they still have to face on the rodeo road trip, tonight's their best shot to definitely get at least one win on the rodeo road trip, hopefully more than that, but they certainly want to close out the first leg of the trip with a victory tonight. And Raptors center Jakob Poeltl joined an exclusive list that includes David Robinson. Coming up.
The trade that I can feel that like that true center position, and yeah, I feel like I've been just getting more comfortable with every game out there.
Jakob's third game back with the Raptors has him standing right next to David Robinson in an exclusive club in Big Board Sports. Well, the Spurs will close out the first leg of the rodeo road trip tonight at the Charlotte Hornets, and so far it's been a road trip to forget because they've dropped the first 5 games, pushing their losing streak to 13 games in a row, tying their franchise record losing streak they set 34 years ago, and none of the current Spurs were even alive when that happened. And after this game, the Spurs won't play again for 8 days due to the NBA All-Star break, so a win tonight would be awesome for them for sure. So here is your matchup between the Spurs and the Hornets. Tip is tonight at 6. We'll have highlights and post on the night beat. The Toronto Raptors are certainly glad they traded with the Spurs to get center Jakob Poeltl back in the lineup. Last night he helped them beat the Magic 123-113, and listen to his stat line. 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 blocks, 2 assists, and 1 steal in 37 minutes. He made 15 of 17 field goal attempts. He did not go to the free throw line and did not attempt a three-pointer. He's the third player in NBA history to score 30 points, make 85% of his shots while 0 free throws in a game, joining Klay Thompson in 2019 and Spurs great David Robinson in 1995 per ESPN Stats and Info. Yak said he's there in more of a support role as he learns the team, but last night he carried the Raptors at both ends of the court.
It's about reacting to the defense. They decided to trap Freddie a bunch of times, so I'm comfortable catching the ball there at the top of the key and trying to make plays. And I feel like I was looking for the pass early on a little bit, and then I noticed that they're backing off a little bit, so I was looking for my own shot a little bit more. And then, yeah, like I said, I think Fred did a really good job in the pick and roll, finding me, and it was just about finishing those off.
Toronto's move to get a true center seems to be paying off. They are 2-1 since acquiring Poeltl, and they currently sit 9th in the Eastern Conference, holding one of the 4 play-in tournament spots. So Toronto happy to have Jakob back. I miss him. I miss him in silver and black.
I do too, and we knew that could happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm glad he's somewhere where he's being used.
Exactly.
And he can make the playoffs.
And he's happy.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Let's take a peek at our futurecast here. And some low clouds will develop before that cold front moves in this evening, but notice those rain chances pretty slim along that cold front. 1 or 2 brief light showers quickly moving on in a broken line. I mean, we're looking at a few hundredths of an inch, and that's it. So generally dry with that cold front. Don't plan on rain tomorrow. Fair amount of sunshine, windy and cooler, be in the 50s most of the day. Friday and Saturday, 32 in the morning, feeling the chill.
That is chilly. Thank you. And thank you for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. See you back here at 6.